Hello everyone, this is Erin. I am apparently sorry because for some reason chat is disabled and we're getting that figured out. So, apologies. Again, we're getting that part figured out, but for now we'll go ahead and get started. I don't want to delay it too much. But yeah, so we're going to get started. Today we're going ahead and painting Martin the Warrior. I have gone ahead. This was an original. On the right, you see an original painting-ish thing, which was very simple. We were actually adding some. It was an asset we created for a tapestry kind of rug painting thing that was going to be hanging in one of the rooms, and it was because we were in game. It didn't have to be super complicated. It didn't have to look. We just needed the base colors, and then it was going to look as if then we had a texture going over it that was going to be able to show that was more ruggish. Well, now we're doing more of a painting style for this thing. We're coming back, we're redoing it. So yeah, so that's what we're getting started with. And we're going to, and this is why I've gotten two, just to show some of the steps that this took to get here. I did a couple just sketches, keywords that I want to do. I had Emily take a picture of me, so that way then I could actually, go ahead and be like, yeah, this is what I want out of this, to sketch of what Martin would then look like, which then turned into that. Which then made it big, started color blocking it, and that's where this has come to. So we're going to go ahead and get started on painting this, and get started on adding in some of the details. By the way, if I haven't said it, my name's Erin. Happy that you're here. I hope you guys can enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. And according to Emily, the chat is live now and working, so that should be working. Yay! Please talk to me. I would enjoy being able to talk with you guys. So as for some of the design choices, at least for him, this isn't a young Martin. This isn't Martin the Warrior in the book called Martin the Warrior. This is actually the Abbey's been founded Martin. This is the portrait that you might see of Martin that you might see hanging in the Abbey, of him being he is steadfast and protecting, but he is also and while he is holding the sword, because it is we feel like it's important for the fans to have the sword, we actually would prefer, I was thinking is having him not if it wasn't for that, I'd actually probably want to have the sword off to the side, probably sheathed, and having him maybe have a hand on top of the pommel and just ready to be able to be pulled. Honestly, it's probably a little bit big, but kind of have that in play. And so we'll figure out where we're going. Sorry, I had to figure out a thing where for some reason chat wasn't showing up for me. Got it figured out. Know why. It's all good. Okay. Yeah, chat was disabled. Sorry about that. I'm catching up on chat right now. Hi JC, hi Nova, good to see you. Hi Sammy, hi Andrew. Glad that you're here. But yeah, the original illustration that's on the right, I did do that. The frame was done by one of our other artists. I was actually reusing that because it felt very right for a tapestry. But and then you see like I have the navigator open for the first time, so you can see like even if I get in real close and I'm doing detail work, you guys will still be able to see like the detail of what the whole picture looks like. So so and then I would say that at this point in time, this is the official design for Martin and his sword, but it could be that, but we might change it later on. At this time, I don't have a specific idea, but I was trying to figure out like how can we make this look like him and stuff like that. So anyway, for me, I always like starting with the face, so I'm going to keep I'm going to start with adding a little bit more into the nose. I'm using Photoshop. Specifically Photoshop CC, which is the subscription service. Forgot that I deleted a little bit of the nose. I don't need no Photoshop. Well, okay, so there's a thing about it's like, there's like what a lot of people think of Photoshop, like what they use it for, which is usually to edit photos. Makes sense. But then, yeah, there's other versions. There's some other versions like Photoshop Elements, which is a much cheaper version of Photoshop. I wouldn't recommend doing it for anything on it other than some amateur work. If you're wanting to do professional work, I wouldn't recommend it. And then also up until about a year or two ago, there wasn't CC. CC was the new one. But you could have, there is, I think, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but actually other artist Jeremy uses a different version of Photoshop. Which is, it's just like what they used on the updated versions, like every year when they came out with a more updated version. So for those of you who are curious about what and maybe you're interested in why we're working on this when we have a game to create, it's like, why are we designing? Why would we be working on this when we have game assets to do? Well, this might be going in the game, but specifically we're actually creating it because we're planning on having this printed out. So it's actually going to be like, it's something that we can, that we're planning on using for future, in the future, and so it's going to actually be nice and big and nice and all pretty. So yeah, Nova has that part down. Thank you, Nova. I suppose I didn't have to clarify between the ones I just did. Some people like to know which one it is. And especially because I don't have the whole thing open and I'm not showing you guys like the little Photoshop icon in the corner. Because art is good, yes. But this is actually more of a I kind of wanted to explain like why we're making this WoW instead of other game assets. have that sketch open. There you go. Let's clean that up. Okay, so sadly, because it's a bigger file, I do have to make sure I'm not like speeding up, because otherwise it's just going like... I'd make sure that the Photoshop actually is keeping up with me. It's going to go ahead and flip the screen. So that canvas is not measured in pixels, but instead it's an 18 by 24 inches. That's why it takes time to flip that size of canvas. Usually I do work smaller, but like I said, this isn't just going to be a internet asset. It's going to be used for imprinting, so it needs to be a higher quality and bigger size. I used to consistently be working on, what is it, 11 by 17s? That's what my original like canvas size was. I don't work on that anymore, as much anymore. Mostly because most of the stuff I do isn't getting printed. Come on. Ah. Oh, my 17 inches. Oh, hey. There's the technical difficulties. Yeah, that's true. So for color choices here, I actually looked at a couple different, for what his fur coloring was. I actually went ahead and I I went ahead and I looked at some references. I did look at the TV show, what they used for his colors there, which is like mostly just a brown and a brown. I was like, I'm not happy with this. I looked at the original reference and I was like, this isn't bad, but I think it could be better. And then I was looking, and I came across Nova's design. And I really appreciated the fact that she thought through how his design on his fur looked like a helm. Looked like a helmet, specifically. Or it's designed that way. Mine's a little bit more saturated and more colorful than hers, but I actually took influence from that. In terms of how I wanted to keep his fur coloration and design. Oh gosh. Not Baby Shark. I'm not telling him about that. I really thought it was really fun and really smart decision in terms of a character design and reflecting the fact that they are very knightly or very honorable. His current, and as for Chris's current ringtone, it is, I believe it's the theme song from Homestar Runner. I did do some changes. I know like you had yours come in a little bit more, but it was just like, I like that you had the stroke coming down and then like framing his face, and I really appreciated it. It was really well thought out. What did you just say, Tracy? I can't tell. So right now I'm actually working a lot with some masking techniques, where I'm actually masking out the different spaces. So like in this case, this is actually just a big gray spot underneath it, except for the part where I accidentally drew. And then you can see this layer down here, right there. Oh, I actually didn't start. I would have started off with the left, but we had some technical difficulties where we couldn't get it to stream to the correct spot. And then I couldn't see chat, so I was focusing on trying to figure out where chat was. Figured it out, but yeah. So we have this, that's this specific layer, and then I am actually coloring on a layer that's specifically working with that one for the fur.
Okay.
And then um yeah, there's no maniacal laughter. Maybe towards the end I will do it. The other layers that I have are like I have this. The whole clothing layer is one, but then I have to actually separate out these creamy colors and the pants and the little like arm guard. And then I actually added in the scarf because I was looking at some of the as I kind of referenced to when he was a more younger warrior. Yeah. Yeah, all the music is now officially we have it all set up. So it's like we're just actually going to be listening to the soundtracks for a while. So and then we also have the sword actually set up too. So so here's the whole sword, other than the words. Should probably actually put that with it. There we go. Now we have the sword in the same layer. Let me flip. It's very useful. So Nova, I told you that this is a 24 by oh gosh, I can't remember the size. It's 18 by 24 currently. Original request was to have it double this size. It's like, can you imagine trying to flip that? Anyway, so then sort of have like the asking for the cloth. I'm gonna make the darker spot on the sword into wrappings, and then the ruby itself, because I believe that there's a ruby supposed to be embedded in it from when he went to Salamandastron. There we go. That has when it was forged, they added that. At least that's what I could find in the design, so I wanted to do that. Then I have the skyrider, it's on its own layer as well. There's that part, and then this part. So, yeah. Go back to the fur. So I know you guys don't know very well, but one of the fun parts is that this... Yeah. Yeah. That piece. That totally balances out, I agree. Forgot I had colors over here for a second. After a while, when I get more of like everything cleaned up, I'll probably go ahead and apply all my masks. Oh, I've done that, Nova. I have done that. I'll link you to some pieces of mine that are that big. I used to work a lot bigger than I do now, but I was also working with pieces I was always planning on printing out, so I was kind of needing to. Oh, yeah, no, I looked at that and it was like, no. Like, might have been, if I take these, I could actually be pulling directly from these colors, and these are a little bit lighter overall. But, I don't know. I also kind of like what I did here for the... I liked what I did on the waist belt thing, like the padding there. It felt... I enjoyed that. And I thought about including it here, but I decided that that felt a little too armor-ish for what he might have. Is that... But Sammy, is that warm butter or is that, ice, like, frozen butter? I'm gonna leave the eye alone for now. Like, I could easily spend a whole lot of time on the eye, but then I'm not getting a bunch of the other things blocked in, but I want to. So instead, I'm gonna actually move on to the scarf that I need to rename later. Okay, so for the clothing, I chose the green because Redwall green, the habits. I'm actually not positive about what color I want the pants to be, but I chose the red because one of the themes that we have in the game is that warrior characters, and specifically more vermin-like, because right now they're our only vermin, or they're the only ones who are wielding weapons that you see. Most of them are wearing a more aggressive color like red, orange, or yellow. So I thought it was appropriate for him to have a red, especially because then it would match the ruby on the sword. And so I thought it would be appropriate for that. And so with the, and it also then harkened back to when he was younger, and like in the TV show, I believe that his description, even in the books, I think I have to double check this, but his description has him wearing a scarf of some sort, or at least that's really how he's depicted and how a lot of people remember him by. And like when I was looking at other people's design choices for him, they had a lot of them have a scarf, and partly part of that is because they're influenced by the TV show. So I wanted to include that, but I decided I'd make it red instead of like blue or yellow or something like that, because one, it pairs really nicely with green. It then also ties in the sword, and then also makes it more, it feels like it then kind of identifies him as a warrior of Redwall, in a sense. Even though he's wearing the more passivity of green. So I'm probably going to make the, other than a scabbard, but like these leather ties are here. The belt's probably going to become rope, and then the part that's on the rope is either going to be more rope or probably leather of some sort. I'm probably going to make the brown his pants a darker brown than his skin or his fur, but probably more brown just because that's kind of my default color for it. And brown and green is not bad. It's also earthy and like feels solid. Maybe a purpley brown. And then the cream is actually that harkens into his. It helps. I say harken. I'm not saying harkens a lot. I don't know why. It's tying in his facial fur color, but also like shows he's wearing something underneath. So yeah, that's part of my color design process. I'll probably make the wrappings on the sword match the match his scabbard, and or also his belt in some sort of way. So that's the color decision making. I haven't actually decided on his eye color. I noticed that in the TV show it's more orangey. And in the painting, like in this one that I did before, it's just straight dark and black, and like I don't think there might be a small color change there, but it's not very much. So right now I have it as just kind of a dark brown, but we'll see what we'll go with it. Maybe I'll change it, but he was never described as having blue eyes, if I remember correctly. Mostly because I recognize when they describe it as having blue eyes in books. It's usually very important that that's their description. So, but yeah, that's the design process for color choices right now. I did have a thought that maybe I would include a subtle pattern somewhere on this, maybe on the sleeves of roses. I thought that'd be fun, but we'll see what happens when we get there. Ah, why is that up? I don't know why. Yeah, just a little design of roses would be a nice little little reference. Actually, I really like the idea of the. Okay, now that you guys have talked about it, I'm definitely doing it. Ah, that's not what I want to do. And again, actually, this nice thing about this is that it will actually tie in. I can probably get some sort of Celtic design in here. What did I do? Give me a second. There. Hello, Daniel. I'll probably do that for now. I'm just kind of like getting like a brief thing in here. I think the one thing I'm going to looking at this right now is like feels a little maybe too feminine. I need to find a way to have that be more not as feminine. Right now it's more of just kind of blocking out what I got. There we go. Just trying to grab that. Rough. Thank you for joining us, Daniel. I do like the little touch of color it gives on those. I'll have to see if we keep them. What do you mean by... are you talking about the warping tool? I'll show you that another time. And yes, that is what they teach in art school when they teach you how to use Photoshop. How did that get there? How did that transform so magically? That's what my stuff would be. Okay. Aw, thank you. Yeah, I was looking around, I was like, there's a lot of beautiful, some really beautiful interpretations of Martin. I don't know Matthias, and like there's just some beautiful Redwall fan art out there. But I was just recognizing, it's like, if the purpose of this picture, of this particular rendition, is supposed to be him post Mossflower, he's not going to be he's not going to be as steadfast warrior, but he's still going to be like a guardian in a sense. So, okay, I'm sorry, I don't think I could do the roses, guys. Like, I'm looking at it, and it feels a little too, at least as it is right now, it does not feel like an embroidery in the same sense. It feels something, it feels like something out of Mexican culture right now, not out of English culture in terms of clothing. So especially with, actually, it's like, it starts just feeling too feminine for who Martin is. Like, are these what they, and so I'll figure out a different way if I can to tie in the roses, but for now I'm going to take that out. It's distracting me. It's like, this is not working for me. Oh, Germanic? Maybe, and maybe they can work, but I think I would have to put more time into them and to feel like the design. Oh, I've seen that there's a Skyrim mod for those. So, but yeah. I've heard of it, at least that Skyrim mod. I haven't seen it too much. That sounds horrid. Ugh. I mean, when I was in college, I was definitely the person who didn't use the kitchen very much. Oh, but yeah, but yeah. I learned how to treat it better now, but I just didn't use it very often. I'm still not very much of a cook person. So one of the things I was looking at was I was looking at the habits, and I felt like maybe making it a little bit more tunicky would help. I was thinking about how the habit might be worn by Martin. Good to know. Like, and that's the thing. It's like I was just tying in what I knew off the top of my head, so that might not be what I would want to draw. So I was definitely planning on looking up some actual like embroidery. But I think for now I'm going to keep. Maybe I'll keep it in there. I'll keep it in there. We'll figure it out. It might just stay like just as it is for now, but then I'll get to it later. my graph really quickly. Where's the pants? Pants. Yeah, this is probably good. It's actually a dark red. Let's go with this color. I like this color. Also, again, it ties in with the red. We're making him very Christmas themed. Oh, I just had an idea, actually. We want to make him a... Let's try this. I might keep. Yes, I am basically adding chainmail. Maybe. And I'll be honest, my visual understanding of chainmail all comes from the show Merlin and how Arthur and his knights wear it. So, at least it's my most recent. So, I think like they have They wear a shirt underneath, and then have the chainmail, and then they have a shirt over that of some sort. So this kind of makes sense. So sure, we'll give him a little bit of chainmail. Maybe he'll keep it, maybe he won't. We'll see. In the meantime, let's get back to these pants. I'm actually going to make them an overlay color. Yeah. You know what, guys? I'm really sad. Mostly because it's back to... I'll keep going because I did have a late start to it, but only by about another 10 minutes. So I'm going to take this color actually, really quickly going to add it to a couple of other things, so like the scabbard. I really like that color. Actually, get this one. There. We'll start there. And then the other thing I want to add it to is sword. Specifically this part of the sword. Alright, see you, Nova. Think. Okay. I think my mic has been muted this whole time. I'm sorry. Did not mean to go to silent mode. Dang it, I'm sorry. Well, what I was talking about was that I was going to be actually finishing up really soon once I get a little bit more done on the fingers. So, I'm sorry. Really appreciate you guys coming out. I think that's probably where I'm going to get for today's stream. I'll probably post some updates later in the Discord if once I get a little bit later, like pieces done, like or some pieces, or like if I decide on a tape in the chainmail or the rose, once I get more of a rose pattern figured out too. But for now, I think this is going to be it. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's been great. Have a blast, and see you next time.